All right, let's talk FIU football. We're diving deep into the first 4 games of their season, and believe me, it has been a roller coaster. We're talking thrilling wins, a loss that'll make you pull your hair out, and a team that's really trying to figure out who it is.
So you look at the record on paper, right? 4 games in, they're sitting at 3-1. And you think, hey, that's a pretty great start. Any program would take that. But that record, it doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of what's really been happening.
Because behind that simple 3-1 is a wild mix of incredible highs and some truly head-scratching lows. So what is the real story with this team? Well, let's peel back the curtain and take a look.
To really get what this team is about, you got to go back to the very beginning. Week 1. This wasn't some big celebration to kick things off. Nope. This was a reality check that kind of set the tone for the entire month.
They opened the season on the road, and it was a heartbreaker. A brutal 1-point loss, 14-13 against Arkansas State. This was a game they had in their grasp, a game they probably should have put away, and it just stings.
So, how did it slip away? Well, it was a classic case of just shooting yourself in the foot. You know, they'd moved the ball great between the 20s, but once they got into the red zone, things just got sloppy, and they couldn't finish drives. To make things worse, they'd lost their key tight end Dallas Payne to an injury, and then the final nail in the coffin. The defense just couldn't get a stop when it mattered most, giving up the game-winning drive. Just an incredibly frustrating way to start the year.
Okay, so after that gut punch of a loss, the team had to figure some things out. And what came next wasn't always pretty, but man, they found ways to win. This was the era of winning ugly, and it's where we started to see some real stars emerge.
They came home and rattled off 2 straight wins, a good, solid victory over App State, and then the big one, a nail-biting, down-to-the-wire win in the Shula Bowl against their rival FAU. Nothing builds momentum like that. But even in these wins, you could see some of those same old problems kind of bubbling under the surface.
And this right here, this tells the whole story. It's the perfect example of winning ugly. I mean, against App State, they were practically superhuman on 3rd down, converting 12 out of 13 times. That's just insane. But then you turn around for the rivalry game, and 3 turnovers nearly gave the game away. It's that Jekyll and Hyde personality that kept things interesting, to say the least. But then came Week 4, the first conference game against Delaware. And it was like a switch flipped. All the sloppiness, all the ugly, it was gone. This wasn't winning ugly. This was a statement. This was pure dominance.
And it all started with quarterback Keon Jenkins. Just look at these numbers. 22 completions, only 2 incompletions for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns? Are you kidding me? This was the offense we were all waiting to see. Clean, crisp, and just explosive.
And if you want to see what that kind of quarterback play does for the whole team, just look at this chart. It's not even a contest. FIU rolled up almost 500 yards of offense, while the defense just completely suffocated Delaware, holding them to less than 100. It wasn't just a win, it was a total dismantling. The D forced 7 3-and-outs. It was a demolition.
So, okay, you've got the 1-point heartbreaker, the 2 ugly wins, and the total blowout. It's been a wild ride. So where does that leave us? What is the identity of this FIU team? Let's give them a little report card.
Let's start with the most glaring, most shocking number of the season. The number of interceptions this FIU defense has forced through 4 games. It's 0. A big old goose egg. And what makes it so frustrating is that it's not for a lack of opportunity. They've had their hands on the ball, dropped surefire picks that could have changed games. It's a huge issue.
So really, it all breaks down into 2 very clear buckets. On one hand, you have the strengths, the things this team does at an elite level, that 3rd down efficiency, a balanced and versatile offense, and really solid pass protection. That's a championship formula. But on the other side of the coin are the things that will absolutely kill you. They have to start creating takeaways, clean up the turnover margin, finish drives in the red zone, and stop giving up those back-breaking big plays.
So the team knows what the problems are. And while they're fighting to fix them week to week this season, the program is also making moves for the long term.
addressing those weaknesses head-on with recruiting.
And how do you fix that 0 interceptions problem? You go out and get guys who can hawk the football. They've already landed commitments from 2 exciting 3-star safeties right here in Florida. You've got Bernie Lieber, who's a cover guy looking for a chance to play right away. And you've got Cliff Mwamba, a heavy hitter who wants to stay and play close to home. These are exactly the kinds of players you bring in to turn that 0 into a positive number down the road.
And that brings us to the biggest question of all for the rest of this season. We know the offense, with Jenkins at the helm, can be championship level. We've seen it. It's got the firepower. But can the defense fix its flaws? Can they start forcing those turnovers? And can they do it in time to make a serious run at the Conference USA title? The answer to that question is going to define their entire season.